Tigers sweep Mississippi State in the wee hours of Sunday morning. If you're still up with us, God bless you. It's Locked on LSU. Let's go.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. So thank you for that. It is 1:46 a.m. Central Time. And with a sliding catch in left, Jaden Newt, Derek Curiel, sliding catch. Jaden Newt on the bump gets the final out, and LSU beats Mississippi State 17-8. Tigers sweep the Bulldogs, and man, is that refreshing. You are 7-2 in conference play, and as you start to look at the big picture of the conference slate, you know, you had a couple of winnable series here to start conference play, and you swept them both against Missouri and Mississippi State, and that has put you in an awesome spot at 7-2, 3 weeks into conference play. Remember, we talk about it all the time. The objective, if you get to 20-10, find 20 league wins out there. Go 2-1 each weekend. Find 20 league wins, you're a national seed, and your road to Omaha goes through the box. Now, you still got 21 league games to go. There's still 7 more weekends, but you swept Mississippi State. You put yourself at 7-2. You learned a lot about your club, and you managed to win a couple of games that could have gone either way. Game 3 on Saturday, then into Sunday, was anything but competitive. LSU just exploded from jump with an 8-run bottom of the first inning. And the way you were able to get to an 8-run bottom of the first is because Chase Shores had a clean top of the first. He went out there and went to strikeout, ground out to start the game, 3 up, 3 down. And then the offense went to work. Curiel singles, Jones homers, and that was certainly foreshadowing of what would come. Dickinson was hit by a pitch. Milan doubled. Fry with the RBI single, 2 RBI single. And just like that, you're up 4-0. Carson Ligon just was unable to make anything happen. Brown reached on a fielder's choice. Reeves singled to the shortstop. Stanfield with an RBI single. Curiel with an RBI single to center. Jones with an RBI single to shortstop. And then the final run came on when Jones was caught in the rundown between first and second, and Curiel scored while they had Jones in the pickle. But an 8-run first inning, it was incredibly impressive to watch LSU get out there early like that, give Chase Shores the cushion he needed, to give this bullpen the cushion they needed so you didn't have to sweat out the game. And I'll tell you the other thing that I loved, and listen, when you score 17 runs on 19 hits, 17 runs on 19 hits, there's a lot of superlatives offensively. And we could run through all of them. I don't think we need to, but Curiel had a couple of hits. Jones and Dickinson each had 3 hits. Hernandez had 3 hits. Stanfield had 3 hits. There was a lot of Chris Stanfield slander on this show yesterday, and all he did was rally with a 3-for-5 night from the plate, and he continues to bump his average above 300. So nice night for Chris Stanfield as well. But I think the thing maybe in this game that was most impressive, and look, it wasn't all perfect, and we're going to get into that, but I think what was most impressive is when you get a lead like LSU did, you went up 8-0. Every time Mississippi State scored for the rest of the game, LSU answered in the bottom half with runs. State put up a 4 spot in the second. LSU got 1 back in the bottom. State put up a run in the 6th. LSU put up 2 in the bottom. State put up 3 in the top of the 7th. LSU got a run back in the bottom. It was really impressive the way that LSU was consistently able to find offense no matter who State ran out there. And State ran a lot of pitchers out there like LSU did in this ball game. Carson Ligon, Davis, Dotson, who's a really good arm, and LSU put a scratch across 3 runs in an inning and a third. Williams was back out there for Mississippi State. Grant, Stone, that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitchers from Mississippi State in the 8 innings, and LSU shelled all of them across the field, which was great to see. A couple of my takeaways, and again, if you're watching with us live, thank you so much for being here. It's 1:51 in the morning. There's 229 people watching live. God bless you all. I love you sincerely. I'm so grateful for you being here. So drop your comments, drop your questions. If you're not familiar, I'm giving you my brief takeaway. We'll break and we'll get to you. We're not going to go super long tonight. I realize everybody's got sleep to catch up on, but here are a few of my notes that I took that I wrote down. The 8-run first, which we talked about, Curiel single, Jones homer, just like that, emphatic. 2 of your stars got you off to a great start. That was fantastic to see against Carson Ligon, who, remember, that's a guy who's a 4-year player who's pitched a lot. 2 years at Miami, now in his second year at Mississippi State. He's been a starter all 4 seasons. It's not a great arm talent, but that is a veteran pitcher who's been through the wars, and you went and shelled him in this ball game. After game 2, there were a lot of concerns that people were worried about the offense. Well, I think 17 runs on, what did I say was 18 hits? I lost count. 19 hits, excuse me. 17 runs on 19 hits should probably alleviate some of those concerns like we talked about after game 2. Yes, you put up 2 runs on 2 solo homers, and it was a struggle offensively, but you were going against not just one of the best pitchers in the SEC, you were going against one of the best pitchers in the country. And maybe the most encouraging thing coming out of this weekend, of course, the best thing is you swept. And it's all a numbers game. They all count the same in the league standings. You got to get to 20 to sort of assure yourself of a national seed. And this was a big step forward. But, you're showing you can win in multiple ways. And that was my takeaway when LSU played in Frisco. If you remember, they won a tight back and forth ball game in extra innings against Kansas State. They got down 5 early to Nebraska, rallied with 10 unanswered, won. And then they had a big lead against Sam Houston State in game 3. Sam rallied, but they were able to hold on. You won in different ways, and the same thing happened in this weekend. It was a game where you were down on Thursday 6-2. You rallied. You won a 2-1 pitcher defense duel in game 2, and in this one, you just exploded offensively. LSU showing their ability to win a lot of different ways. So if you were worried about the offense after game 2, don't be. It was the best arm you faced all year up to this point with Pico Khan, and you were able to still win that ball game. Offensively, every starter had a hit. Stanfield was 3 for 5. There was some Chris Stanfield slander, y'all. There was some Chris Stanfield slander after the game yesterday, and all he does and all he continues to do is hit. He's now up to 318, and he is an elite defender in the outfield. Stanfield has a role in this team, and I was happy to see that happen. Mentioned that every time LSU scored, State scored, LSU answered. Chase Shores, let's talk a little bit about his day. Crazy. He was hit in the face in the 4th inning. If you were watching the game, it was a chopper right in front of the plate. Shores put his glove up, and it just kicked off the heel of the glove, hit him right in the face. It looked like a fighter. I mean, he'd already swollen up real big there, but he finished the 4th inning, 5 runs on 4 hits. He struck out 5. He walked 2. He needed 74 pitches to get through 4 innings. He did hit a batter as well. It's the thing we keep talking about with Shores, and it's kind of the same thing with Einstein, which is he's effective. He's not always efficient. The 4 spot in the second was certainly concerning, but it started off great. You got a strikeout, and then he gave up the homer to Hunter Hines on the first pitch of the AB. Look, you left one over the middle of the plate. Hines is a good hitter. He crushed it. But then you went single on an 0-2 pitch, single on a 1-2 pitch. That's the crazy part. You were ahead of Downs and Stevens, 0-2, 1-2, and you gave up singles on both of those. And that's where Chase Shores has to be better, y'all. The stuff is so good. He's 6'8", and he throws 100 miles an hour, and the stuff is there. But you can't get up 0-2 and 1-2 in consecutive hitters and give up singles. That's where you have to miss small and make them induce weak contact. You can't eat up too much of the plate and allow them to get on base. And then he hit Highfill. It was a 3-0 count. So hit him, walked him either way, put a guy on base. So now you get the bases loaded, and then Cup doubled, and that was the 3-run double. That's how they put up the 4 spot in the second. And it was all induced where Shores was working ahead. That's the most frustrating thing about what happened right there. I'm not even looking at the comments yet. I'll get to them in a second, but I know there's going to be questions about the bullpen, and everyone in the bullpen struggled. Connor Ware gave you an inning in the fifth, but he walked two. Maverick Rizzi gave you an inning, but gave up a hit, a run, a walk, had a strikeout, hit a guy. It just wasn't clean. Primo faced two batters, didn't record an out, walked a guy, hit a guy, then he's out of the game. Connor Binge comes in. He gave you an inning, faced five hitters, but again, a wild pitch, a walk, a strikeout, a hit. And then Williams went in, and God bless, tall, long guy from the left side with good arm talent, couldn't record an out. He goes in there, hits the first batter he faces, and then gets down 2-0 to the next hitter. They pull a mid-count for Jaden Newt. And I was glad to see Newt go in and give you two innings. We have been looking for, and this was the other note I wrote down, you're looking for who might be the other bullpen arm outside of Evans and Cowan. And coming into this weekend, actually on Tuesday, before they announced Newt as the starter on Tuesday, I wondered if maybe this was the weekend we were going to see Jaden Newt in the bullpen role in SEC play. And he went on Tuesday and extended a little bit and called that into question until really this game. He was not going to pitch in either of the first two games, but it effectively amounted to a bullpen day for Newt. He went and got live action, and Jaden Newt was really good. You're looking for guys that can consistently throw strikes. So 2 innings, didn't walk a batter, thank God, struck out a couple, he gave up 1 hit. So, and the other batter reached on an error to start the ninth on the ground, on the little chopper to first that Jones couldn't handle. So that was really encouraging, man, that not only was he able to get you the final 6 outs of the game, but even how he entered the ball game, with a runner on base and a 2-0 count on the runner that he came in to face, mid count. So Jaden Newt could very well be developing into the next guy out of the bullpen who you trust that might be able to give you innings, some length, and chew up some outs. So that was fantastic to see. Tigers are 7-2 in conference play, a great start, and you can't help but think about Game 2 against Texas when you led 5-2 and blew it. But the flip side of it is you trailed 6-2 in the fifth against Mississippi State, and you rallied to win that game. Over the course of 30 league games, 56 games in the regular season, those things tend to even out. And you've seen that already now through these last 2 weekends, and Tigers are right where they need to be. They're 7-2. Again, set to head to Norman, Oklahoma to face Oklahoma this coming weekend in a 3-game series. Again, another Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, so all your pitchers will be on normal rest. Okay, y'all, it is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I got one quick break. When we come back, I'm going to get to your questions and comments, so please fire away. Drop your questions there in the live chat on YouTube. It's Locked on LSU, your team every day. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything, from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on. So visit FanDuel.com to get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly, no waiting around. Visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Tigers win, sweep Mississippi State. Let's get to you as we put a button here on this 3-game sweep for the LSU Tigers. Brett starts us off. Bullpen continues to struggle to find consistency. Need Yeski to help them get better. I don't disagree. And I don't want to just throw out some negativity without giving a solution. It's very clear with the walks and the command issues in the bullpen right now that you have some guys that aren't comfortable. So I would like to see Nate Yeski call more pitches that these pitchers can command. That may sound obvious, but If you can throw 4, but you're struggling to throw 4 for a strike, then only call the 2 that you feel really good about throwing for a strike. Because most hitters are going to get themselves out. Now, you can be a little more fine with some of the better hitters you're going to face. Like if Ace Reese is up with runners on second and third in a one-run game, you're probably not going to serve him a letter-high fastball. But the point is, you got to get these guys confident in throwing the ball over the plate and getting outs. And I think a lot of that's pitch count. That's something I think Nate Yeskie could change immediately. Hey, Peyton, thanks for being there. David, Matt, good to see you there, man. Of course, I'm still up. Told you, we'll be here when the games are over, man. Peyton said, I love you, Matt. Go Tigers. Thank you, Peyton. I love you, too, and I appreciate you for being here. Hey, Brian Ballard, Jonathan Martin, good to see y'all. Vince said, Matt, go to bed. No, I refuse. I still got to shower and finish this show and upload it after we're done talking about it. So I'm glad y'all are here. So hang out with us. I love it. Animator73, you're the man for staying up. Well, you're staying up too. So let's talk about the game. Matt, you're still awake. Awesome. Who will start Tuesday with Newt finishing up today? Yeah, that's a good question. And it could still be Newt. Good question. Newt threw 27 pitches here on Saturday. So he'll have the full day Sunday. Well, I guess it is Sunday morning now, but he'll have Sunday, Monday to rest. And in theory, he could give you an inning to start on Tuesday. Or you could see William Schmidt, who we did not see pitch this weekend. Everyone else, I think off the top of my head, that you would have thought would have gotten work did, except for William Schmidt. So my thought is if it's not Newt, which it could be for an inning, then Schmidt would probably be the guy on Tuesday. Chris, I stayed up just to see if you'd actually do your show this late. Respect. I'm here, Chris. Told you I would be. I'll keep showing up if y'all do. David, let's play another one. Glad to have all of you here, man. Let's get some more of your questions if we could. John said, way too much off-speed pitches called for the pitchers who struggle to throw strikes. John, I think that's the point that I was making just a bit ago. You put it a little more succinctly. I was a little more elaborative. You were a little more succinct. Let me actually explain it to you this way. If a pitcher goes into the minor leagues, the result doesn't matter. Like, especially in the lower levels, they're not trying to win the game. They're trying to develop talent for the big club. So if a guy's got 4 pitches he can throw and they need to work on throwing 2 other pitches to develop to become a big leaguer, then they're going to keep running them out there in a minor league game to throw those pitches against live hitting, regardless of what the result is. I feel like this is the contrast of that. I'm not so much worried about you learning to throw 4 pitches for strikes. I'm worried about you throwing pitches for strikes. So call the pitches that you're comfortable they can throw for strikes. Not the pitches you would like for them to throw for strikes. Call the pitches that they can throw for strikes. For example, in this ball game, LSU threw 177 pitches, 93 of them for strikes. That comes out to 52% of the pitches thrown today by LSU were strikes. You at the SEC level, you want to be at about 75% of your pitches for strikes. LSU is at 52% in this ballgame. There just aren't enough strike throwers right now in that bullpen. Bullpen is atrocious. It's becoming unbearable to watch. Scholarship LSU pitchers not throw strikes. Sad they can't command a 4-seam fastball. Yeah, it's tough to watch. Leon's there. Steam Fan 1, start Evans over Shores. No. I'm gonna repeat this for those that missed it on yesterday's show. You don't start Case and Evans. And there's 2 primary reasons. Number 1, you're not starting Case and Evans because of the conversation we're having right now. The conversation we're having right now is about how bad your bullpen is, how few options you have in your bullpen. So if you have so few options in your bullpen, and Evans and Cowan are the two guys you count on, you're not taking one of those guys out of your bullpen. Because think about game 2. If you were saving Evans to start game 3, then what do you do in game 2 in a 1-1 ball game or a 2-1 ball game? Who do you go to? Cooper Williams? Maverick Rizzi? Where do you go? That's the point. So no, you're not moving Case and Evans to the rotation. That's number one. Number two is, did you watch what happened? The final 2 innings, Evans was out there in game 2. Those 95s and 96s started to become 92s and 93s. There was traffic on the bases in the 8th and the 9th innings. Because Evans, as a reliever, is a max effort guy. And you ask him to go throw 70 pitches, his velo is going to dip, his command's going to dip, he's going to start putting guys on bases, and he's getting into tougher spots. I'm not so sure that Casey Evans right now is ready to go give you 5, 6, 7 innings, because at the end of game 2, he looked like a fighter who was gassed. So no, it's not time to put Casey Evans in the rotation. Next year, he's probably your Friday night guy, and I can't wait to see what that looks like. But for this team, you need him in the bullpen. So stop. Just like last week, it was all of you talking, not all of you, but a lot of you last week, talking about Zach Cowan into the rotation. And I'm going to keep telling you the same thing that I told you last week, which is you don't have arms you trust in the bullpen, except those two. You're not taking them out of the bullpen because you need them desperately in that role. Matt, who are the 2 men they honored today? Bill Franquez was echoing bad when he was announcing. Couldn't hear it. Sorry, man. Long baseball game it was. Hey, Jay Maggio. John, do you see another arm other than Evans and Cowan that can help in the bullpen? I think you saw it tonight, which is Jaden Newt. And honestly, if you're an everydayer, and thank you, shout out to my everydayers, you heard me say that last week. And I wondered if they would throw Newt on Tuesday because it felt like that was a guy that was throwing strikes, and I'd like to see him on the weekend. They threw him Tuesday. They brought him back tonight. He ultimately got the final 6 outs for you, which was good. It's just locked on LSU or Morning Scone. It could be whatever you want it to be. AG, Matt, do you think the bullpen issues come from trying to do too much or overthinking? In my opinion, Newt did it right. Throw it over the plate. Let the defense help you out. That is always the objective in pitching, AG. I think sometimes it just takes the experience of young guys to learn that. When you're so used to throwing 94, 95, 96, and high school hitters can't hit it, and you get to the college level, especially at the SEC, where hitters have a better eye, they're more patient, they can hit 95, 96 because they see it all the time. I think there was a learning curve with pitchers. I think you're seeing that with a lot of these young guys. Maverick Rizzi is a very special arm talent. Same with William Schmidt. Same with Cooper Williams on the left side. So a lot of it is just going to be comfort in getting more outings. And you just hope you have days like this where your offense puts up 17 runs and you can run dudes out there to get them experience. It's not really going to hurt you if they don't throw strikes. David, if anyone argues changing the rotation, moving Cowan Everson their role after watching how the weekend played out, you need therapy. Thank you. Thank you, David. I mean, it's like game 1, when you rallied and took the lead, you went to Cowan, he got you the last 4 innings. Game 2, after Ianson came out after 5, you went to Evans, he got you the final 12 outs. Think about if you were to move those guys to the rotation, what would you have done? They need to stay right where they are. We're over 273 watching live at 2:10 a.m. God bless you. Where was this offense for game 2? Again, you were facing Pico Khan. I shared this with you after the game. I'll share it again right now for those that missed yesterday's post-game recap. D1 Baseball has a list of the top pitchers in college baseball. This isn't top SEC pitchers. This isn't top draft eligible guys, just the top pitchers in college baseball. Number 1, Tyson Witherspoon from Oklahoma, who you'll see this week. Number 2, Cade Anderson from LSU. Number 3, Jamie Arnold from Florida State. Number 4, Liam Doyle from Tennessee. Number 5, Pico Khan from Mississippi State. The 5th best pitcher in the country, according to D1 Baseball. Yeah, he handcuffed you. He's good. That's where the offense was. They got handcuffed by a really good pitcher. Leon, the Dexar. How tough was Chase Shores to continue pitching after being hit in the face? I'll be interested to see what Jay Johnson says and how it looks after when he wakes up in the morning, because that eye looked like it was already starting to swell. But I'm curious if he could have continued. Shores was at 74 pitches. I think he probably could have continued. I wonder if you see this in the fight game all the time. When guys get their eyes swollen like that and they can't see and their sight is obstructed, they'll call a fight. And I wonder if that might have been what was happening with Shores. That thing swole up so big if he couldn't see. Maybe that's why he came out of the game. Otherwise, he might have been able to go out there for you for the 5th. Let's see, Matt, how many players will get 10-plus home runs this season? Well, I think Jones, Dickinson are obvious candidates. Milam and Hernandez are right there as well. That would put you at 4. It's going to be a matter of ABs for guys like Reeves and Jake Brown, but they're certainly capable, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. So I'll tell you 6. I'll give you 6. Hey, Grant Freeman, thanks for being there. Noah Lejeune, 4 runs on the board before State recorded a single out. You got to love that. Certainly helps the pitchers, especially a struggling pitching staff. Not going to read that one. Tremaine, respect your work ethic. Once again, your hard work and dedication to Louisiana sports is appreciated. Thank you, Tremaine. Thank you for being there. Noah Lejeune, 7-2, feeling pretty good. That's really the crux of it, man. You know, you're looking at an LSU team right now that, you know, is going to have the day off on Sunday while the rest of the league gets out there and finishes their series, and they know they've got a sweep in their back pocket. So LSU at 7-2 right now is looking up at Georgia, which is 8-1, Arkansas, which is 7-1. Tennessee, which is 7-1, Texas by winning percentage, which is 6-1, but you're right there knocking on the door, and you get to play Oklahoma this week. So a really great opportunity. Brett, not hating on Stanfield. I think he's better swinging away than giving himself up and moving a runner to second. Y'all know how I feel about that, by the way. Old son, thanks for being there. Matt, you're the best. Hanging in there, keeping us informed. The bats were hot. I told y'all, if y'all are here, I'll be here. Like in the movie Titanic. You jump, I jump, right? You're staying up till 2 a.m. Guess what? I'm here. 282, you're watching live. Carl the Cat, weirdest home series, 2 late-night games, glad for the sweep. There was a series I remember when LSU played Texas A&M. I think it was when Fraley had the crazy diving catch. That was one that I seem to remember kept getting delayed by weather. But it was one that, look, what's to say you won't end up in a situation like this in the postseason as well, where you end up having games delayed, start times moved. You have to be flexible, and LSU took it in stride and won this and swept this series, which was great to see. Hey, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you for listening every day. I appreciate you. Randy Jones, Matty Mo is more reliable than death and taxes. Well, here we are, and I'm glad to be here. Wonder if Wheels is going to drop highlights this late. Don't know who Wheels is, so forgive me for that. But in any event, let's get a few more in here. Randy, I like the idea of using Newt compared to any of the others not named Cowan or Evans. I just don't know that you have anybody else you trust. I think Schmidt and Ware are the two that you are hoping step up. But the most encouraging thing, and I was asked the question, why are some of these guys here? They can't throw strikes. You recruit velocity because it's something that you can't, like Zach Cowan is never going to throw 97, 98. Now, he's a very effective pitcher. LSU's got a lot of young throwers that have very elite arm talent. You got to develop in the pitchers that can command the strike zone with multiple pitches, and they're not there yet. But the hope is you do that, you get there with experience. All right, y'all. See if we maybe get a couple of more in here. Carter Chandler said, do you think Fry is an everyday guy? I do not. Jake Brown is an everyday guy in my mind, but Jay Johnson is pretty clearly determined that he's going to use Pearson, Brown, and Fry in a platoon situation that, as he has said it, at the end of the season, he wants all of their numbers to combine to look like an All-American production. Whereas my point is, I think Jake Brown could very easily be an All-American if you played him every day. So that's what I would like to see. It just doesn't seem like that's what we're going to see. Let's see, maybe a couple of more. Sonny said, why do they start some series on Thursdays? It's for television. So SEC Network and ESPNU, they're clearing inventory there, and I think it's actually great for college baseball. You're putting a premium product in prime time on a Thursday. I think that's a great thing for college baseball to gain that exposure. And usually it's good, except when you have awful weather delays on consecutive days. How late will morning scone be now? Probably still same time, around 9 a.m. So I'm going to shower and get to bed, and we'll be up and doing it. So Brett said Chase Shores needed a cut, man. It's the thing. I was watching the game with some buddies at the house, and it was the thing I said. I was like, they need to cut him. Get some of the swelling out of that thing right now. Anyway, one more adapted said, love seeing the phenomenal freshman Curiel take us home. Sliding catch in left field for Derek Curiel to get it home was awesome. And he continues to be just stellar in this ball game. Derek Curiel, his final line, he ended up going 2 for 4, scored 3 runs, had an RBI, walked twice. So he was on base 4 times. He did strike out once, but just continues to be incredible as a table setter at the top of the lineup, hitting .408, which is leading the team, also leading the team in on-base percentage and walks. So what a start to the season for Derek Curiel. What a start to his career. As impressive a freshman season as we've seen since Todd Walker. And I get it's early. You've got 21 league games still to go, so a long, long way to go. But, man, it's been a lot of fun to watch. Okay, let's get out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all so much for being with us. Tigers win. Tigers sweep Mississippi State. And next week, they'll be at Oklahoma Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And a big challenge awaits with the Sooners and a really good pitching staff. That's also an Oklahoma team, by the way, that is super active on the bases, even more active than like Kentucky was a year ago. They get on, they're looking to put action on the bases, so you're going to have to be really sound pitching and defensively next week against Oklahoma. But we got plenty of time to talk about that. In the meantime, let's get out of here. If you are live with us, thank you so much. The 256 people that are still hanging out with us now at 2:18 a.m. Central Time after LSU polished off a sweep in Mississippi State. If you're listening on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate us, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And let a friend know if they love the Tigers. We got you here every single day for Locked on LSU, your team every day.